Hi guys, in this tutorial I'm going to share on how to use basic NMAP scanning technique. This tips is a simple scan which you can combine with other command once you get a hang with NMAP. The NMAP scan in this tutorial will be done in my private virtual network. Before I start with the tutorial, let me explain on the environment that I use to run the test. For this tutorial, I will run 5 virtual machines in my private virtual network. All of these virtual machines will get the IP addresses automatically from my VirtualBox DHCP server. Please check my other tutorial on how I configure my VirtualBox DHCP server function. Now let us proceed to the first example. In the first example, I want to share on how to scan a single IP address using NMAP. This command will scan a single targeted IP address. Type in sudo nmap and followed with the IP address. The second tips that I want to share is how to scan multiple targeted IP addresses using NMAP. This command will scan a specific multiple addresses that you want to scan. Type in sudo nmap followed with the IP addresses. Put a space in between the IP addresses. Next, we're gonna look on how to scan a list of targeted IP addresses that is contained in a file. Since I don't have any file that I can use with my current networks, I will create a list of valid IP addresses to show how to use the nmap command. To create a simple file, just type in echo followed with the file content and use greater than sign and followed with the file name. Now back to our third example, type in sudo nmap -i capital L and followed with the file name, or in this example IP atlist. NMAP will then scan and check the given IP addresses in the file that I just created. The fourth example that I want to share is how to scan a range of hosts in the subnet. Type in sudo nmap and followed with the IP address / and subnet number. In this example, NMAP scanned the total of 256 IP addresses and get a feedback from 6 machines. The fifth tips that I want to share is how to scan IP addresses that are in sequence within the same subnet. For example, if you want to scan IP address from 10.10.10.2 to 10.10.10.10, type in sudo nmap followed with 10.10.10.2-10. NMAP will scan IP addresses between 10.10.10.2 to 10.10.10.10. Next, we're going to look on how to scan a list of IP addresses but excluding one IP address within the same subnet. Since I've created a file list in my previous example, let's just use the file and exclude one IP address. Type in sudo nmap -i L followed with the file name -exclude and followed with the IP address that we want to exclude from the scan. In this example, I'm using 10.10.10.5. NMAP will scan the given list of IP addresses while excluding 10.10.10.5. The 7 tips that I want to share in this tutorial is how to scan a given targeted IP addresses and excluding a list of IP addresses. Continue from the previous example. Let's say if I want to scan IP addresses from 10.10.10.2 to 10.10.10.10 but excluding a list of IP addresses in IP addlist file. IP addlist file that we just created in the previous example contains IP address 10.10.10.2.5 and 6. Type in sudo nmap 10.10.10.2-10 -exclude file and followed with the file name. NMAP will scan all 9 IP addresses and will exclude the given list. A total of 2 IP addresses were found. The last tips that I want to share in this tutorial is how to do an aggressive scan using NMAP. Aggressive scan will give you more information for the targeted machine. This includes OS and version detection, script scanning, and trace route. To do this, type in sudo nmap -A followed with the IP address. You will get tons of useful information from this scan. There is the tutorial for today. If you like this tutorial, please click to subscribe, and thank you for watching.